Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, classmate. By the way, I'm Leah Estusing. Our topic's all about elements and principles of arts. Introduction. The lesson begins by emphasizing the importance of the understanding the specialized language of arts. It's introduced the concept of elements of arts as building blocks of fundamental components that contribute to an artwork's composition. The author drew a parallel to scientific understanding, comparing elements to atoms and their combination to molecules. This slide is an introduction to a lesson about the elements of arts. It highlights the importance of understanding the specific language used in arts. So, the elements of arts is described as the basic building blocks of fundamental components that make up an artwork. The others also make a compression to science, suggesting that use the atoms combined to form molecules element of arts, combined to create a complete artwork.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, classmates. So, I am Lyra Mia Songhong, the second reporter. So, my topic is all about the elements and principles of art. So, this document explores the fundamental elements and principles of art, providing a comprehensive framework for understanding artistic composition and analysis. So there have elements of visual art. So the first is line. So line is a fundamental visual element that defines the perimeter of an artwork and contributes to the composition. It can be horizontal, vertical, diagonal, crook, or curve, each conveying different meanings and emotions. So, importante yun na to makatuna ning linya kay diha na to makita ug mas masabtan ang meaning ana by their emotions, and also the significantly impacts the artwork's overall feel and message. So, there have 5 types of line. So, first line is a horizontal line. Horizontal lines is often symbolize rest or calm. So, example ani, sky painting or sea painting. That's the example of horizontal lines. So, the horizontal lines creates a sense of stability and peace. It is a flat landscape. So, the second is vertical lines. It is represent elevation, height, exaltation, or aspiration. So the example is a tall buildings painting, and another the tree painting. So that's are the example of vertical lines. So vertical lines suggest like strength and power. So next is diagonal lines. So imply movement and instability. For example, kakusog sa dagan sa sakyanan or mga butang nga nangahulog. That's a good example of diagonal lines. Diagonal lines is create a sense of dynamism and energy. So the fourth is crook lines. So suggest violence, conflict, or struggles. So example, a jag. Broken line might represent a fractured landscape or a chaotic scene. So crook lines convey a sense of unease or disturbance. So the last one is curved lines, a load of softness, grace, flexibility, or sensuality. So example, flowing water. Another example is curve sa hill. So that are the example of curved lines. Curved lines create a sense of elegance and fluidity. So artists carefully choose lines types to guide the viewer's eyes, create a specific mood, and communicate their artistic intent. So the interplay of different line types within a single artwork can create conflicts and effects. So that's all. Thank you for listening, guys.
Good day everyone, I'm Lorna A. Parangway. My topic is about shape and form. Shape 2-dimensional and form 3-dimensional. Define the space occupied by an art object. Geometric shapes originate from mathematical propositions, squares, triangles, circles, spheres. Example, a painting that features a series of overlapping squares and circles that Piet Mondrian's works emphasize geometric shapes through their precise lines and angles. Organic shapes occur naturally, often regular and asymmetrical foliage, natural curves. Organic shapes, these shapes occur naturally and are often irregular and asymmetrical, assembling forms found in nature. Example, a sculpture of a tree or a painting of a flowing river showcases organic shapes as they mimic the natural curves and contours of living forms. Implied shapes can be perceived in the arrangement of figures or other elements. Implied shapes, these shapes can be perceived in the arrangement of figures or other elements even if they are not explicitly defined. Example, in a composition where several figures are arranged in a circular formation, such as in a group portrait, the viewer may perceive an implied circle created by the positioning of the figures. 3. Space refers to the area occupied by an object, both real and simulated. Positive space, the space occupied by the object itself, often filled with color or texture. Positive space, this is the area occupied by the object itself, often filled with color or texture. Example, in a still life painting of a bowl of fruit, the fruit itself represents positive space, filled with vibrant colors and textures that draw the viewer's attentions. Negative space, the empty space surrounding the object, often used for creating deep contrast. Negative space, this refers to the empty space surrounding the object which is often used to create deep or contrast. Example, in the same still life painting, the space around the bowl of fruit, such as the table surface and background, represent negative space, helping to highlight the fruit and create a balanced composition. 3-dimensional space can be simulated using the techniques like shading or perspective. These shapes can be simulated using techniques like shading or perspective. Example, in a landscape painting, an artist might use linear perspective to create the illusions of depth, making distant mountains appear smaller and closer together than those in the foreground, thus simulating 3-dimensional space. These concepts of shapes, form, and space work together to create a cohesive and engaging compositions in art, influencing how viewers perceive and interact with the artwork.
Good morning, Mom. Good morning, classmates. By the way, I am Liza Welton, the next reporter. Color enhances the appeal of artwork and elevates emotional responses. Who? The name of quality of color like red, blue, green. Primary colors red, yellow, and blue. Next, secondary colors. green, orange, and violet, created by mixing primary colors. Next, tertiary colors, 6 colors, created by mixing primary and secondary colors. Value, the lightness or darkness of a color. Light colors associated with light, optimism, and warmth. Dark colors suggest shadows, mystery, or somberness. 10. A lighter version of a color like pink is a tint of red. Shade. A darker version of a color like maroon is a shade of red. Intensity. The vibrancy of dullness of a color. Bright or warm colors convey positive energy and excitement. Dull or cold colors suggest calm, serenity, or seriousness. 5. Texture. The surface quality of artwork an artwork experienced through touch and sight. Real texture. The actual feel of the surface. Implied texture. The look of textures created through visual techniques.
So next it's about intensity. So intensity of a color can significantly impact the overall mood and message of the piece art. First, bright of warm colors. So convey positive energy and excitement. So the example of bright or warm colors is the color red, orange, yellow. Generally, that evoke feelings of energy, excitement, and happiness. So next is dull or cool colors, suggest calm, serenity, or seriousness. So the example color of that is blue, green, and purple. So the intensity of a color can be modified by adding white to be lightened, by adding black to be darkened, or by adding gray to desaturate. So it's consider the context of the artwork when interpreting the emotional impact of color intensity. So number 5, texture. The surface quality of an artwork experienced through touch or sight. So there are two main types. So first, the real texture. So the actual surface quality of an artwork. So example, so from the word real, so tinuod siya. For example, wood grain. 4. Kanang butang nga mahawiran gid nimo. So next is implied texture. Simulated texture create through visual elements or techniques. So example ani. For example, ga-drawing ka og baby cat. Dayon as sa paglantaw nimo mura gyud siya og tinuod, just like a illusion ra siya. So munay kalahian nilang duha.
Principles of art balance the distribution of visual elements in relation to each other. Symmetrical balance. Elements are mirrored in either side of a central axis. Asymmetrical balance. Elements are not equal, creating a sense of visual weight on one side. Radial balance. Elements are distributed around a central point. Scale and proportion. The size of elements in relation to each other and their natural size. Scale. The overall size of an object or figure. Proportion. The relationship of parts within an object or composition. Emphasis and contrast. Drawing attention to specific elements or areas of an artwork. Emphasis, highlighting key elements through size, color, placement, or other techniques. Contrast, the difference between elements creating a visual interest. Unity and variety, achieving a sense of wholeness while maintaining visual interest. Unity, elements work together to create a cohesive composition. Variety, different elements, colors, or textures add visual interest and prevent monotony. Harmony, creates a sense of unity and cohesion among elements, achieving a visual balance. Harmonies, using complementary, analogs, monochromatic, or triadic color schemes. Movement, directs the viewer eyes through the artwork, creating a sense of flow or direction. Lines, shapes, colors, and textures can guide the viewer's eye. Rhythm, created through repetition of elements, creating a sense of visual rhythm. Repetition and patterns, regular or varied repetition of elements.
Good day, everyone. I am Michelle D. Alfonso. I will be the one who report about auditory art. So what is auditory art? Auditory art, like music, uses specific elements to create an artistic experience. These elements work together to create the sounds, rhythms, and melodies that we enjoyed. So there are 6 elements of auditory art. First, rhythm. So what is rhythm? Rhythm is the pulse of beat of music, the pattern of sounds and silences that creates a sense of movement. It's like a steady heartbeat that you can tap your foot to, or a dance that your body naturally follows. A simple example is the steady beat of a drum solo, where each strike creates a distinct rhythm that you can easily follow. Second, dynamics. Dynamics in a music refers to the loudness and softness of the song. It's like turning up or down the volume or on a radio. Think of a song that starts softly, then builds to a powerful crescendo for a dramatic effect, and then fades away gently. This change in volume is what we call dynamics. So third, melody. So what is melody? Melody is the tone of a song. Is a tone of a song. The series of notes played or sung in a specific order that creates a recognizable sound. It's like a catchy phrase that gets stuck in your head, or a beautiful tone that you might hum alone to. A simple example is the main tone of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, which is a short, easy to remember melody. Timbre. Timbre is a unique sound quality of a voice or instrument that makes it sounds different from others. It's like the personality of a sound, its individual character that sets it apart. For example, a violin has a bright, clear timbre, while a cello has a warm, mellow timbre. This difference in sound quality is what makes each instrument sounds unique, even when playing the same notes. So fifth, texture. Texture in music is the way different melodic and harmonic lines are combined, creating the overall sounds of a piece. It's like the arrangement of different instruments or voices, creating a sense of thickness or thinness. A solo singer with a single melody has a thin texture, while a full orchestra with multiple instruments playing different melodies creates a thick, complex texture. So last, is harmony. Harmony in a music is a combination of different notes played or sung together at the same time, creating chords and a sense of richness and fullness. It's like adding different color to a painting to create more complex and interesting visual. So example of auditory arts include theater combining music, acting, dance, set design, and lighting. Installation art, multi-dimensional art experience involving a space, objects, and sensory elements. So auditory arts, theater. So theater is a collaborative art form that uses live performers, actors, dancers, musicians to present a story of experience to a live audience. It combines various elements like music, acting, dance, set designs, and lighting to create a holistic artistic experience. The audience is directly involved, so experiencing the performance in real time. A musical, for instance, is a prime example of auditory art within the theater context, blending singing, instrumental music, acting, and choreography. So that's a theater. Second, installation art. So installation art is a multi-dimensional art form that transforms the viewer's perception of a space. It often involves large-scale constructions using a variety of materials including sounds and light, so to create an immersion environment. Unlike traditional art, the viewer actively participates, moving through and interacting with the artwork. The sensory experience is paramount, combining visual, auditory, and sometimes even tactile elements. An example could be a dark room with projected sounds and image. There, the viewer's movement alters the soundscape and the visual. So while both theater and installation art can incorporate auditory elements, their primary focus and methods of engaging differ significantly. So theater emphasizes narrative and performance, while installation art prioritizes the creation of a sensory environment and viewer interactions. So that's an example of auditory arts.
Film, combining visual imagery, sound narrative, and editing. So film is series of moving images that tell a story, convey emotions, or provide information. There are four types of films, which are narrative films, documentary films, animated films, and experimental films. Video art, using digital media and technology to create visual and sound experiences. So video art can conclude recordings, live streams, installations, and performances. Conclusion, understanding the elements and principles of art provides a foundation for appreciating analyzing artworks. By being familiar with these building blocks of composition and formal analysis, viewers can engage with the artist's intention and experience the full richness of the artwork.